Hello everyone, welcome to 2020! I hope you've all started the year happy and healthy. I did, for the first couple days. I think I'm fighting something now. It's time again to talk about what else I saw last month that I didn't review. Since I only reviewed one movie in December, I guess we could just call this What I Watched Besides Godzilla. The month went the way I expected it would pretty much, meaning I didn't have a chance to watch anything in the last couple weeks, so it's just as well that I crammed these movies into the first half of December so that today I have something to talk about. Movie number one is something that's not Christmassy at all. The Killing, a 1956 film written and directed by Stanley Kubrick. It's got a relatively simple plot. A group of men team up to rob a racetrack. Everything starts to go wrong, though, when one guy makes the mistake of letting his untrustworthy wife in on the secret. The only thing I knew about this movie going into it was that at some point a guy enters a room wielding a gun and wearing a clown mask. Turns out that famous image is just a brief part of one sequence. So, parenthetically, if that bothers you, it's not a prolonged part of the movie. So I was pleased to find that The Killing was very good and ticklishly satisfying. The cast has several familiar faces, especially from film noir: Sterling Hayden, Elisha Cook Jr., Marie Windsor, and it looks great. There are shots where characters move in and out of the light source in an intriguing way, and there are multiple signature Kubrick tracking shots. I admit I had a little trouble staying engaged in the middle act, which wasn't the movie's fault, it was me, but the third act was amazing. There is a definite turning point, which I won't give away, and from that point on to the last frame, it was great, and I couldn't imagine what was going to happen next. And that ending, wow, I enjoyed it, and my dad really enjoyed it. The Killing is a pretty short movie at just 84 minutes, but movie number two is even shorter, 66 minutes. It's Submarine Alert, a B-level war movie from 1943, which we didn't think was too bad at all, considering its 5.5 IMDb rating. The quality of the print on Amazon Prime is kind of poor, but the audio is in good shape, and as for the movie, it's actually got a decent storyline, with an interesting element of wrong man on the run added to a story of an Axis spy ring bent on sabotage. The script could have used a little expansion. It needs a couple more scenes, or at the very least transitions, to make the narrative less jumpy, and the lead characters seemed a little scattered. But it's not bad. There is definitely some good stuff in this little-known movie. I was especially keen, for personal reasons, to see Swedish actor Niels Asser, whose name I have probably mispronounced, here playing the charming but evil German doctor running the sabotage ring. What I wasn't expecting was the appearance of Dwight Fry as one of his accomplices. That was a very pleasant surprise. Movie number three is the obvious outlier on the list, being the only one that's not at least 60 years old. My mom and I watched 2017's Wonder Woman, and we did so for research purposes because we had family coming, and my niece is really into Wonder Woman. Not that she's seen this movie, she's way too young for that, but we wanted to be prepared just in case. Anyway, I thought the movie was fine. I'm not a comic book movie connoisseur by any means, so if you want an informed review of the material, I'm not the right person to ask. I do get why people got excited about this one when it came out. Gal Gadot is an attractive woman with an endearing smile, and her Wonder Woman is such a charming, good-hearted person that it's no wonder so many young girls have flocked to her. I did think it was a little long, and the villain reveal didn't surprise me. It also wasn't quite as funny as I'd expected. I thought there'd be more fish-out-of-water comedy than there was, but I guess they didn't want to overdo that. I also got tired of the fighting, which there's quite a bit of, and as I was watching it, I started to notice how strongly reminiscent of 300 the editing was, and I was like, I thought people stopped imitating that movie a long time ago. But then I found out that Zack Snyder, who directed 300 and has directed most of the other big DC Comics movies of late, was a producer here, so there you go. Okay, the other three on this list are Christmas movies. Off the beaten track, lesser known, old Christmas movies, starting with movie number 4, 1940's Remember the Night. This one isn't overtly focused on the holiday or on a Christmas message, but it's set during the holiday break, and it's all about Christmas. Fred McMurray's prosecuting attorney takes pity on Barbara Stanwyck's shoplifter, bailing her out of jail so she doesn't have to spend Christmas in a cell. But then she has nowhere to go, so he ends up bringing her home for the holidays. It was definitely funny to see Stanwyck and McMurray paired up here in the polar opposite of their affair in Double Indemnity. This is so much more wholesome. Stanwyck in particular is impressive here with her sensitivity and her endearing expressions. She's playing the street-smart, brassy city girl, something she excelled at in her early career, but her tough veneer masks an incredibly vulnerable core. There are several touching moments in this comedy-drama romance from Preston Sturges. Sturges' comedies tended to be a little more outrageous, veering into screwball territory, but the comedy and drama here balance each other out nicely. The leads are also supported by a fine cast, including Beulah Bondi and Sterling Holloway. How did I end up making a video where I mention both Sterling Hayden and Sterling Holloway? Movie number 5 is Three Godfathers, the 1948 Technicolor film directed by John Ford and starring John Wayne, Pedro Armendariz, and Harry Carey Jr. By some accounts, this is the third version of this story. By other accounts, it's the fifth, or maybe the sixth. It's kind of a Christmas movie, with the lead characters representing the three wise men, although at a certain point the analogy breaks down, as most analogies do. Three outlaws ride into a western town and rob a bank, but their getaway is not clean. As they wander through the desert with the marshal hot on their trail, they come across a dying woman in labor and help deliver her baby. Sworn to protect the baby, they become determined to bring it to safety, no matter the cost. It's a bittersweet film, at times quite dark, very different from the Three Clueless Men and a Baby comedy I'd expected. There is a little of that in the middle act, and those scenes are very funny, but they're not extensive. Like other movies on this list, this one has a few touches of comedy, but didn't overdo it lest it compromise the overall serious tone. Three Godfathers is dedicated to the memory of Western legend Harry Carey Sr., who starred in the 1916 version of this story. Perhaps it's no coincidence that his son, Harry Carey Jr., in my opinion, gives the most touching performance of the film. The last movie I had time to squeeze in, movie number 6, is 1945's The Cheaters, another unusual Christmas film which I know a lot of people have never heard of. It's like a holiday spin on 1936's My Man Godfrey. A wacky, wealthy family wants to impress a future son-in-law, so they decide to take in a charity case for the holidays, settling on an impoverished, retired stage actor. It's got an energetic cast, including vibrant character actors Billy Burke and Eugene Pellett as the parents. Funny, Eugene Pellett was the father in My Man Godfrey, too. Joseph Schildkraut plays the actor who seems to be playing them, and he does a nice job with his enigmatic role. You're never quite sure what his intentions are. Is he taking advantage of the family, mocking them, trying to teach them a lesson? Does he genuinely like them or not? I repeatedly found myself asking, where is this going? It's definitely a quirky movie, one that I think might benefit from another viewing in my case, and about as bittersweet as the other two Christmas movies on this list. So there you go, 3 not Christmas movies and 3 sort of Christmas movies. I never did get around to watching that TV version of Miracle on 34th Street with Thomas Mitchell and Teresa Wright. Oh well, I suppose I could still do it, but I don't feel like watching Christmas movies anymore. I have a lot of other things that I want to get to. I have so many things I want to talk about this year, and so many things I want to watch. I hope you enjoyed this list. Share your thoughts on any of the movies that I mentioned in the comments below if you like, and I'll be back soon. Thanks for watching.